didn't understand that.
Yeah. So now what I wanted to give you a small example. Suppose all of you want to work on your health. Suppose all of you want to have a good, healthy body. So what all would you do? You would eat healthy food, right? That is option number one. Or some people, in order to remain healthy and fit, they will do jogging. The other people, if they don't do jog, they might do yoga. Some people will do just simple walking around. Some people will go to the gym, right? So there are various methods in which people are wanting to actually maintain a healthy body, right? Now, there are different processes, but the goal is same. Goal is to have a healthy body, right? The process might be different, but the goal is one, to have a healthy life, to have a healthy body. Similarly, when we are talking about these 9 processes are actually what the goal is one. Goal is to perfect our spiritual life. Goal is to attain Krishna. For that, there are different processes, right? Now, all of you who are sitting here, say we have around 35 people here, all of you have different desires, different feelings, different preferences. All of you have different likes and dislikes. So similarly, all those devotees of whom we are giving examples, they also have different preferences. They like certain process and they followed it. Similarly, I might like to do yoga and do get a healthy body out of doing yoga. So similarly, different devotees of whom I'm giving example, they followed one process out of these 9 processes. So I think it is very simple. It is not a very big thing to understand. It is these 9 processes are there, which are there in our scriptures. And in order to perfect our spiritual life, we can pick any of this process. And similarly, I have given these examples of these people from our scriptures, like Hanuman and, whom all we spoke about, like Bharat we spoke about. Right? So these are the people. Similarly, there are many people who followed any of these 9 processes. All of you also can follow any of these 9 processes. So these devotees' life whom we are talking about, they are just examples of one of the process they followed. So is it clear? Can we begin our today's class? So yesterday part 1 was uploaded. Sorry for the delay. So we'll begin with part 2. And we have already discussed, various processes. We've already covered 5 processes. We have covered, listening. We have covered chanting. Right? Then we have covered serving. I'll just quickly show the slides and then we'll move on to our part 2. We have covered till now the processes of hearing, chanting, constantly remembering, serving the lotus feet of the Lord. So these 4 processes we have already covered. Right? So let's move on to the 5th one. So the 5th process is deity worship. So when we are worshipping the deities,
Mataji, deity of Lord Krishna or any deity?
and when we are talking about Lord Rama or Lord Krishna, basically Vishnu deities we are talking about. So when we are talking about deity worship, it includes a lot of things. So there are a lot of rules and regulation when we are talking about deity worship. Suppose, I'm sure you would have seen any temple, the pujari of the temple, how many things, small things he follows, right? There are so many rules in worshipping the deities. And one such rule is offering bhoga. So all of you also offer bhoga to your picture in your temple. So I'm sure you must be following once, even very small, but some rule and regulation you would be following. Right? So there are so many rules like, before we cook something for the Lord, we should take a bath. Then when we are cooking, we should not smell or we should not taste that food before we offer the food to the Lord. So there are many rules and regulation in worshipping. But in this, when we are talking about Lord Ram, when we are talking about Ramayana, there is one such devotee who offered food to the Lord, first tasting it and then offering it. I'm sure many of you know about that devotee, right? So this was an old woman and her name was Shabri. I think most of you know about her, that how she offered, she tasted that fruit, that berries. She tasted the berries and then she offered it to the Lord.
Yeah, Mataji, many of them are shaking, nodding
Yeah,
their heads. They didn't
yeah.
know.
So sometimes
Some
devotion
of
is
them
so.
are saying that it was sour, not tasty. She would throw that and only
Yeah,
to Ram.
correct. Yes, very true, very true. So sometimes devotion is so strong that it surpasses all rules and regulations. Shabri tasted the berry first and then offered to Lord Ram. So when she was tasting and a half she was throwing and half she was offering, Lakshman, who was watching all this, he got so angry. He thought, what is this old lady doing? And he immediately wanted to stop her. That, don't you know whom you are giving the food? He is the Supreme Lord. And how can you taste the food and with your mouth, you're taking it out and giving it to him? But before he could speak anything, Lord Ram stopped Lakshman. He said, can you see that how much of love there is in her eyes? She's offering with so much of love. The point we have to understand is that Lord accepts whatever we offer to him with love and devotion, because Lord sees the heart of the devotee. So we learned a beautiful lesson that whatever little we have, so many times, many of you ask, okay, I don't have anything at home. Can I just offer milk? Can I just offer some fruits? The point is that whatever little we have, if we offer it with love and devotion to the Lord, Lord is going to accept. But of course, also we should remember that we are not Shabri. We are not at the level of Shabri. So we should not smell and taste the food before offering. We are not at that level. She could do it because she was a very, very high level devotee and Lord accepted her food. But yes, one thing which should be there in everybody's bhoga is that it should be with love, made with lot of love and made offered with lot of love and devotion. So this deity worship, which is another process, Shabri perfected it with her love and devotion. So we are talking about this fifth process, which Shabri perfected it with her love and devotion. Here is the slide. You can all have a look. So let's move on to the next point. Next point is praying. Next process is praying. So here, the devotee who perfected his life in just praying is Vibhishan. So have you heard about Vibhishan? So Vibhishan was Ravan's brother, right? So Vibhishan was Ravana's brother, and he was very, very supportive to whatever Ravan was doing. He was a very good and nice brother. He would constantly also give his suggestions, and those suggestions which was for the welfare of Ravan. But the biggest mistake that Ravan did was he kidnapped the wife of Supreme Lord. So even if it is not Supreme Lord, it is a very, very big sin to kidnap a woman, right? And Ravan kidnapped the wife of the Supreme Lord. So when Vibhishan saw this, he tried his best to convince Ravan that you are doing a big mistake. You please go and apologize. Lord Ram is very, very merciful. He will forgive you. You please return Mother Sita. But Ravan did not listen to Vibhishan. So when Vibhishan saw that Ravan is so desperate that he is even ready to fight Lord Ram and he is ready to kill him also, then Vibhishan left Ravan's house. In fact, he was such a great devotee that he had Tulsi plant in his house. He was a demon, but he had Tulsi plant in his house. And on the entire walls of his entire house, what was written? Rama, 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 Rama. Everywhere the word Rama, Rama was written on the walls of his house. So he was such a great devotee of Lord Ram. Though he had such a powerful brother, but he did not even think twice in leaving his brother and going to and surrendering to Lord. Vibhishan perfected his life just by praying to the Supreme. And for him, the spiritual connection, the bhakti for the Lord was more important than his relationships. So the lesson we learn from this process is, the praying process is, or what we learn from Vibhishan is, that we all must try to protect our spiritual practice and keep it to ourselves. We should try to preach to others, definitely, as I've always been saying that yes, we should try to preach to others by directly talking to them, like how Vibhishan spoke to Ravan, or taking help from some senior devotee. Like suppose if you're having some problem in your life, you can talk to some senior devotee and try to convince your family members that yes, my family member is not, supportive. But if nothing works out, we must remember that spiritual bonding, your connection with the Lord, which is eternal, because after all, we are soul, we are not this body. Your connection with the Supreme Lord is most important. We should not break that connection, like how we saw in Vibhishan's case, that although he had such a powerful brother, although he could have won and he could have killed Lord Ram, but for him, Lord Ram was more important than all the relationships.
Sorry, Mataji, who could have killed Ram?
Now he thought that yes, Ravan could have killed Lord Ram. If Vibhishan, he could have stayed with Ravan's party. He wouldn't have left Ravan, and he would have thought, no, my brother is very powerful. He can kill Lord Ram. But he knew that who is Ram, who is the Supreme Lord, and my relationship with Supreme Lord is more important. He did not think twice, and he left all relationships and went and joined Lord Ram's army. But in our case, I should also try to explain to you that we should not think that if my family is not supportive, I should leave and I should go to the forest and I should leave my family because they're not supporting me in my spiritual life. We should not do like that, because our level and Vibhishan's level is different. The time that Vibhishan was living, and he had a lot of money and he had Lord in himself in front of him. We don't have that facility, right? So we cannot leave our home. So what I will suggest you is that we should all, in such a condition, we should all protect our bhakti within our heart. If you have an environment where people are cursing you, where people are not in favor of your bhakti, don't leave hope with the Lord. Don't give up on Lord. What you should do, just keep it yourself. Don't preach others. Krishna will, or Rama will listen to you, and he will make arrangements for you so that you can peacefully continue your devotional spiritual life. Right? So we cannot be like Vibhishan, but example I'm giving that for him, spiritual life, spiritual bonding with the Lord was more important than his own relationships. So we move on to the next process. So we have covered deity worship. We have covered praying. And now we come to obeying orders, or like working like a servant. And the person who qualified, who perfected his life in following this process was Lakshman. Lakshman, I'm sure all of you are aware, right? I need not tell about him. Lakshman was the younger brother of Lord Ram. So how did he perfected himself? So the time when Lord Ram went to the forest with Mother Sita, I'm sure many of you would be knowing it, that at that time even Lakshman was married. Right? So, but he did not think about, of course, he would have felt sad. But even at that time, even his wife supported him. Yes, your duty is to serve Lord Ram. You are the younger brother. You must go with him. So Lakshman was not asked to go by his mother. He was not asked to go for 14 years to the jungle. But Lakshman did it for Lord Ram, to serve Lord Ram. So for Lakshman also went to the forest with Lord Ram and Mother Sita for 14 years. Entire life, all the time when Lord was in the forest, he served Lord Ram and Mother Sita as a servant. Both Ram and Lakshman, they had a very, very intimate relationship with each other. It's not that Lord Ram would treat him as a servant. He would treat him equally. But Lakshman knew that my position is not as high as Lord Ram. I am much, much lower than Lord Ram. So they both had a very intimate relationship, but Lakshman never forgot his position, that his duty is to. So when, they would, both Lord Ram and Mother Sita would go out to take a bath in the river, he would take care of their clothes. He would, wherever, suppose they would change their position in the forest, he would help in he would build up the entire hut for them. He would go and get water. He would go to the forest and collect roots and fruits for the three of them. And once Lord Ram actually asked him that, what kind of house, you give me your opinion, that how many rooms should we build in this hut in the forest? So Lakshman was very, very hurt. He said, why are you asking for my opinion, Lord? You think my opinion is separate from your opinion? How can I have a different choice than your choice? Whatever is your choice is automatically my choice. Anything that pleases you also pleases me. I want to be completely dependent on you. Please don't be treated independently. I am your part. I am your servant. So please accept me as your servant and just guide me, just order me. So that was the kind of relationship. So this is the kind of person that Lakshman was. So similarly, we too, a lesson that we learn from Lakshman is that we too should not have any separate desire. We should only desire how to serve the Supreme Lord in all circumstances. When Mother Sita was kidnapped, Lord Ram scolded Lakshman like anything. That why I instructed you not to leave Sita. Why did you leave Sita? He listened to so much of scolding from Lord Ram, but he did not utter a word. He did not lose his temper. Although Lakshman is known for being very angry, but in front of Lord Ram, he just did not show any anger. So lesson that we learn from it is we have to understand whatever happens in our life is actually the arrangement of the Lord. Even if something bad is happening in our life, it is Lord's decision. If we are suffering, then we do not shout or complain, oh Rama, oh Krishna, why are you giving me suffering? So what are we supposed to do? We are supposed to just tolerate and keep chanting. Take Lord's name and continue tolerating with whatever situation we are in. Because this is what Lord has decided for me. Like how Lakshman took everything as decision of the Lord. Similarly, we should also learn from Lakshman that whatever happens in our life is the choice of the Lord. Because of our own karma, of course. Whatever is happening is because of Lord's decision. And He is the Supreme Father. He is our Father. Even if something is bad is happening with us, it is for our own good. Let's share the screen. Okay, so next process we move on to is friendship. So after, for this example, whom do we have is Sugriv. Sugriv is the person, he was also a monkey like Hanuman. And Lord Ram met Sugriv when Mother Sita was kidnapped by Ravan. So after Mother Sita got kidnapped, Lord Ram was going to many places in the forest searching for her. Then he met two monkey brothers. One was Sugriv and the other was Bali. And Lord chose Sugriv as his friend. And there are many reasons for it. Instead of Bali, Lord chose Sugriv. Why? Because Bali was very greedy. He was very lustful for women, for power, for money. Whereas Sugriv was very reliable. And Hanuman was working in the army of Sugriv. So Lord understood that since Hanuman is so good-hearted and so very intelligent and also very spiritual, therefore choosing Sugriv for friendship would be a better idea. And Sugriv also showed his willingness to serve Lord Ram. He was the one who helped Lord Ram in finding Mother Sita, along with his entire monkey army. He was simple and a gentle person and accepted his faults, his weaknesses, and tried to improve himself. He was humble and he had no trace of arrogance. So Sugriv is the person who perfected his life just by serving Lord Ram as a friend. Similarly, for us, we learn from this example, if we get association of devotees, we should develop the desire to serve them. We become humble, and if whatever faults we have, we should try to improve them. And when all this happens, we get the attention, we get the attraction of and mercy of Lord Ram or Lord Krishna. So when we become humble, when we don't have arrogance, when we try to serve others, instead of thinking about ourselves, when we try to serve others, then Lord automatically gets attracted towards us. Oh, look at this person. He's such a nice devotee. He always thinks about other people. Let's look at the slide.
Mataji, can we take a quick break?
Yeah, just after I'll share the slide and then we can. You all can chant. Meanwhile, Saurav can take a 5 minutes break.
I'll be back in 2-3 minutes, Mataji.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, I'm here, Mataji.
Okay. So let's move on to our last process. Can you hear something? Last process is complete surrender. So here we are talking about adopting one process, somebody adopting two process, but there are certain devotees who have become perfect by following all the processes and completely surrendering to the Lord. So the person, who perfected his life in this process is Jatayu. Have you heard of Jatayu? Jatayu was a vulture and he gave up his life in serving Lord Ram. So when Ravan was kidnapping Mother Sita, Jatayu saw it and he tried to block Ravan's path, and he fought with the all-powerful Ravan. He was old, he was weak. At the same time, he did not carry any weapon. Imagine you are having no weapon, you're old, and you have no strength left in your body. And whom are you facing? You're facing the all-powerful Ravan. He was flying and fighting in the open sky, whereas Ravan was in his chariot, and Mother Sita was also with him. So Ravan was protected, and Jatayu was all just flying, and he was trying to fight and not let Ravan take his chariot any further. He also knew that it is very difficult for him to protect Mother Sita and to kill Ravan. But whatever qualities or whatever potential, whatever strength he had, he fought with Ravan. And it is said that there is Muhurat, there is auspicious time. Initially, there used to be people used to see a lot of these things. Nowadays, also people see auspicious and inauspicious time. So Ravan was a Brahmin, he was a Pandit. He calculated it that if I kidnap Sita in a particular time, then that thing will not be returned back to its owner. And Jatayu is also aware of it. So what did Jatayu do? Jatayu delayed that auspicious time. He delayed it and the time became inauspicious for Ravan. And if the time is inauspicious, if he has taken anything, it will come back to its owner. So Mother Sita came back to Lord Ram because Ravan was not able to take her away in the time that he thought was auspicious. So although Jatayu could not save Mother Sita, but at least he delayed the entire process. And in that way, Mother Sita finally came back to Lord Ram. So Jatayu is the one from whom we understand that he gave up his entire life in serving Lord Ram. We have learned all these processes today: hearing, chanting, remembering Lord all the time, serving feet of the Lord, then deity worship, worshipping the deity of the Lord, then constantly praying to the Lord, then obeying the orders of the Lord, like working like a servant, treating Lord as a friend, and trying to perfect the life by becoming friend of the Lord. And the last is completely surrendering to the Lord. So these are the 9 processes we have learned. I hope this time there is no confusion. So this presentation also that I've made, it contains, okay, yes, sorry, I have forgotten to give a lesson for Jatayu. The lesson that we learn from Jatayu is, we have so many challenges in our life which does not let us do what we really want to do. I'm sure a lot of you want to do so many things in life, right? But you cannot do them because you don't have the capability. But remaining within those limits. So you have some limits, like a women of the house.
Sorry, Mataji. You said that you have an aim, but you don't have the capability.
You want to do, but you have certain limitations, like a mother. She wants to go out and work, but she has to look after small children also, right? So she has her limitations. Similarly, we also want to do so many things for the Lord, or we want to do some service for the Lord, but we can't do it because we have certain limits, because of our home problem, or whatever problems you have in your life. Because of those problems, we cannot do our duty properly. But we should remember that remaining in those limits. So we have to remember that with remaining in those limits, we should try our best and serve the Lord and please the Lord.
Sorry, Mataji, I need you to rephrase remaining in those limits and still serving. I actually wasn't able to interpret that.
Okay, now I'll give you, for example, suppose I am a devotee, and I will give you Prabhupada's example. So Prabhupada would say that, those women who are in Krishna consciousness, who are attached to the temple and who want to do some service coming into the temple, They are very excited to come to the temple and do some service. But at the same time, they have small children at home to look after to them. So what do they do? So Lord knows that your duty is more towards your child than coming to the temple. So remaining at home, you can do some small service. Or keep all your focus on your child. And once your child grows, definitely you can come to the temple and do service. So you have to see what your limitation is. Right? Similarly, if you want to do some service, we should know what our limit is. But from heart, we should all try to do maximum to please the Lord by doing some service or the other. Just being at home, you can cook tasty bhoga for the Lord. That itself is sufficient. So before I take question answers for today, we have 15 minutes left. Just wanted to make one small announcement that the PPT in different languages on teachings of Lord Chaitanya is ready. We had a session, if you remember, and there were devotees working, we work on different languages. So those PPTs are ready. I shall be posting them soon. And also the Bhakti Vriksha classes for till week 6 and 7 are also ready in all languages that we are doing. So I shall share the link soon, maybe maximum by Tuesday. I will send out those links. So please watch those, especially the teachings of Lord Chaitanya. Please read them as I had mentioned in the class. And the recordings are also there on the YouTube. So you can please use that opportunity and try to read them. The PPTs there in different languages. So I hope you liked these 2 sessions on Lord Ram. This time there is no confusion. We can take the questions.
Yeah, everybody's saying they really liked it, Mataji. It was very clear and it was all clear. It was very easy to understand.
Thank you. Thank you. We can take the questions.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. The sixth rule, no, Mataji, the sixth process where obey, but in Kali Yuga, how does that work? Who's giving us the orders?
The books. Krishna himself is given all the orders in Bhagavad Gita. The simple order is don't leave chanting. That is a very, very simple order. Because Krishna has said that in Kali Yuga, we can't do anything else. We can't do big sacrifices. We can't do big havans. We cannot do elaborate deity worship. We cannot do very, very complex. We cannot read heavy Vedic literature. So one instruction that Lord has given is that in Kali Yuga, don't do anything else. Just do chanting. At least that instruction also, if we can follow, it is more than sufficient. You don't need to do anything else.
Sorry, Mataji, she had a question about Lakshman's wife, but I said there are the people.
Sure.
Come back.
We can, yeah.
Hare Krishna, Mataji, namaskar. The ninth process, which is talk about full surrender.
Okay.
Where, what in my mind, full surrender. But what happens is you get influenced by your friends who tell you different kind of things, that this is not true, this is not how it is. Can I share all these things with Krishna, and can he give me answers?
Share with Krishna. Yes, why not? See, the voice inside. Have you ever heard that there is constantly a voice inside us which tells us what is right, what is wrong? Right? So that actually that voice is Lord's voice only. He's sitting inside our heart and he's constantly guiding us. So if you share everything with him, then he will definitely guide you. He anyways guides us. We just shuts his voice. But if we are ready to listen to him, then believe me, you can actually see magic happening in your life. At least spiritually, you can see magic happening in your life. You completely surrender, and if you trust Krishna that yes, I totally depend on your of what you instruct me, he will guide you from inside. And of course, we have these classes to guide you all the time. We are there.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you. Hare Krishna, Mataji. So, Mataji, her question is that when you explained that Ram scolded Lakshmana, so at that time Lakshmana was very calm. So how did he get that calmness? Did he also used to chant Hare Krishna? Did he used to do his japa?
He didn't need to. He had Lord with him all the time. He's all the time serving. He's in front of Lord. He's all the time serving him. We are giving an example of serving. And all the four brothers were all incarnations of Lord Vishnu.
Okay, Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Namaskar, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
So my question is about Vibhishana.
Okay.
So isn't he already dead? Is he still alive in Kali Yuga?
No, as far as I remember, Hanuman is still there on the earth. Vibhishan, I think he would have gone back to the spiritual world. Only Hanuman is there. We hear that Hanuman is still there in this material world. He will be there as long as the Lord's name is chanted. He will always be there.
So you talked about 9 disciples, right? There's Vibhishana and Hanumana.
Right.
All these 9 people. All these 9 of devotees are there in Kali Yuga, right, Mataji? None of them have passed away. That's what she's saying.
Not like that. So apart from these 9, there are many hundreds of people who have perfected their life by following similar processes.
Mataji, her question is, those 9 people, are they still on earth?
No, they're not there, except Hanuman. See, Mother Sita is Lakshmi. How can she remain here? She's already there with Lord Vishnu. So they are all gone back with the Lord. They are not here. Hanuman only is there till end of Kali Yuga.
Yeah, Hare Krishna, Mataji, she said. Take the next.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna. It was really interesting today, the session. My doubt is that Mataji, so his question is that, you had said that there's a different time right now. You had said that, Ram and Vibhishana, all of them were in a different time. Now it's a different time. So were there 2 different worlds?
No, here only, on earth only. We're talking about when Lord Sita Maya was kidnapped and she went to Sri Lanka, right? They were here only. They were here only on this earth. Ayodhya, we're talking about Lord Ram was in Ayodhya. There are still all those places with so many, places where Lord Ram traveled. After 14 years of his journey, the places where Lord traveled, the remains of those places are still here. So it was not a different place, it is here only. And Lord went till Rameshwaram, and from there he built a bridge. And with the help of all the monkeys, and then he went and captured Ravan over there. So all those places are here only, not a different world. Yes, correct. Hare Krishna.
Mataji, probably maybe it was tiredness or something. He said that I had signed 2 different worlds, but I think I had signed a different time. But he says now he caught me saying that 2 different worlds. So that's what got him confused.
Oh, okay. But he's got the answer, right? Okay. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare
Namaskar.
Krishna.
We had a great session. Very easy session, actually. Very nice to actually learn. Mataji, she's asking Shabri. You said that she was offering some berries. Can we know which type of berries? What was the name of the berry?
No, I have no idea. It is just mentioned as berry, bear, I think. Hindi में bear बोलते हैं ना. Ila is from north only. I think bear. हिंदी में वो शिव जी के टाइम में बेर नहीं मिलते हैं, शिव जी को भी चढ़ाते हैं जो बेर, मेरे ख्याल से तो वही है, मुझे नाम नहीं मालूम एग्जैक्टली।
Is it the one which is green first and then it dries up?
हाँ, I
Dries up and
think so.
becomes really small
I
and
think
becomes red?
Saurav, actually मुझे पता नहीं मालूम कौन सी berries है. I'm not really sure. She used to live in the jungle. अब जंगल में कौन सी berries थी मुझे नहीं मालूम है. ढूंढना पड़ेगा रामायण में अगर mentioned है कि नहीं है.
Sita Maiya, Mataji, when in Sri Lanka, in Lanka's Ravana's home,
Ravan's,
there was this place, the tree where she was sitting. What was the name?
Ashok Vatika. She was in Ashok Vatika.
Ashok. That means the king, right?
No, Ashok Vatika is the tree, the place where she under the garden's name was Ashok Vatika.
Was there any specific name of the tree where it's always depicted that Sita used to sit under the tree?
Oh, let me see.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you.
Ashok Vatika, I think is Shimshapa tree. I don't know. That's what I'm finding in Google.
Mataji, you can type it or send it into the group.
I'll just say I'm also
already,
searching.
so I'll
Yeah,
just
that's
take the
okay.
last
That's
question.
okay. Take it next question.
Hare Krishna. Very happy to be part of these sessions and learn from you, Mataji.
Thank you.
It is that Mataji's question is that people all around the world, do they know about Rama and Krishna?
Around the world?
Yeah, all around the world.
See, actually, Ramayana, Lord Ram history can be traced in many places, especially the Asian countries like Indonesia and Bali, etc. A lot of Hindu temples are there, and a lot of those temples also have Rama and Hanuman in them. So it is also said that Hinduism was not just restricted to India itself, it was spread throughout the whole world. In fact, when Kurukshetra war happened, when Mahabharata happened, at that time it is said that kings from all over the world came to participate in that war. So maybe yes, as of now, I don't know how many people know, but there was a time that Hinduism was spread, at least glories of Lord Ram was there till thousands of countries. I think it is Ashoka tree. Ila wants to know. अशोक का ट्री तो अभी भी हम देख लेते हैं ना अशोक का पेड़
Okay.
903
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
I'm good with it. Yeah, Mataji, can we finish the...
Yeah, I'm done.
We do the chanting, right, Mataji, in the end?
Yes. You can tell Vinita we can take her question later or she can send me on WhatsApp. We'll begin. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Hari Bol. Thank you. Good night. Hare Krishna.